Hey everyone, it's Billy Ray again. Welcome back to part 3 of this three-part series where I'm going to be covering feature extraction, surface creation, and exporting out of TBC. This will be for the SX10, SX12. Part 2 we covered scan registration, colorization, and point cloud classification. Hope you enjoyed that. Looking forward to this next session with you, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, we're going to jump back into that same data set that we were working in before in the previous two videos. Like I said, in this section is going to be a little bit shorter than the previous two videos. We're going to cover feature extraction, surface creation, and then just look at some of the exporting functions. Right now I'm going to kind of hone in on a little area here over here on the east side of the building, and we're going to look at doing some curb and gutter feature extraction. I'm going to start off by coming down here at the bottom and changing my background from black to white. This really helps when I'm running this curb and gutter tool, so I can see my line work come in TBC here. So on the point clouds menu here, you can see, we'll jump over here and we'll see under the deliverables, we'll see our two extract point feature tools that we have over here. We got extract point feature and extract line feature. And before we go into the extract line feature with the curb and gutter routine, I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer under the CAD menu, and I'm going to call that curb and gutter. Now I'm back over here in extract line feature, and I've got my extraction type set to curb and gutter. I'm going to go ahead and show you my settings here, and I'm going to select the curb and gutter as a layer. Just going to run past these other settings and go ahead and select my points, and I start with my top view over here. Like I said before, it works best having this in the top view, and I'm going to select point 1 over here on the sidewalk, point 2 out here in the parking area, and then after we do this, it's going to pop up our cutting plane view, and then it's going to allow us to select those nodes to run the curb and gutter template. Now I'm going to define my template just as I would shoot this in the field. I got a back of curb, then I'm picking as node 1, and then I'm going to pick my face of curb with node 2, and then the gutter here, I'm just going to go ahead and select one down at the bottom here in the gutter, and then another one out here near the parking area. And this is us just defining our curb pattern. Once I've set up my curb template, I'm going to look up here in my plan view, and I can see which direction this is going to try and run my feature extraction. And I'm going to go ahead and switch this back to the black background and give you a better visual of which direction we're running. And then once I've got those defined, I can set my interval. Right now it's set at every 5 feet, and then we got a minimum confidence of 90%. So there you go. I hit extract and let that run. We hit finish over here, and I can come back in here and look at my point cloud data, and I can see where my line work for my curb and gutter is now in my overall project along with my point cloud data. Moving past the curb and gutter tool, I'm going to jump over to another linear feature extraction tool, which is the power lines. I got a little segment of my project here that I've isolated with the limit box, and I'm going to go set up another layer just as I did before. Now back in the extract feature line tool again, I'm going to change that from curb and gutter to overhead lines, and then go back down here in my data set where I've isolated out this little segment of power lines on my project. And then first thing, I'm going to pick a starting point to start the feature extraction. And I'm going to pick this power pole over here as my starting point. And then over here I got another power pole that I'm going to pick as the end point. And then what you can do is go in here in between the power poles, and you can go, if you got multiple lines, you can go in there and select those power lines individually. So currently that shows that I have one selected. I can go through here and select some of the other power lines to do my line work or feature extraction, and just continue on from there. So now it shows I've got 6 lines selected. I can come back over here and I can adjust my search length or my search width. Those are some options you can play with when you're running this tool. You can see there how it goes up and down the line. Once you have this defined, you just come over here and you hit extract. So now we're just letting the software do the work for us, and you can see how it's running through and extracting those power line and vectorizing our line work in our TBC project. Back over on our point cloud menu, I'm going to select my extract point feature. Extraction type, I'm going to set that to tree. You got tree, pole, and sign here. Today I'm just going to cover the trees, and then we'll do this automatically. You can do it manually. So I've changed my view back to my classified regions, and like you see I have a little grouping of trees here. These are the ones that I'm going to try and go ahead and run this feature extraction on. So I have an option to set a starting point number, and I set that at 3000. I could hit my extract trees right now. You got some additional attribute information that can be included in here, or feature code library if we had one of those. Loaded up in TBC. I just went ahead and hit extract trees now. So the automatic feature extraction ran really well. I just want to jump in real quick and take another perspective and show you how you can come in here and use the manual feature extraction. You just basically go in here and pick your tree out and hit manual, and you can see here how it's selected these trees individually. Okay, lastly I'm going to show you guys a little bit about surface creation with the portion of my data set that I've sampled down. I've got it sampled down to 25/100ths of a foot here. And I'm just going to give this a name for my point cloud region. So I called that region intersection. I'm going to go here under my point cloud regions, and you can see that I do now have a new region called intersection that we can work with. This is what I'll be using to create my surface off of. And as I zoom in here, you can see how it sampled it down. Not all the data, like I said, we're just using a portion of the data to create our surface. So once I have that sample down point cloud region, I can go under my surfaces menu here and use the create new surface tool. I'll give it a name of existing, and we can classify it, however we want. I'll just say this is original. We can give it a color. Now I can just hit apply, and it's going to generate a surface based off of that sampled down point cloud, and then we'll just say OK, and we can now come over and see our new surface under the point cloud menu. We've got existing, and now we have a new surface. I know that was a lot of information to cover in a short amount of time, but I just want to finish up by saying, or talking about the exporting functions within TBC. You can always take that sample down data set out and create CAD points from your scan points, just as you see on my screen here. Those could be taken into a third-party software by exporting out to CAD as nodes, or you got your E57 exporter, LAS, LAZ, TopoDot, TDX exporter. All these functions can then export out to your third-party platforms. Thanks for joining me. That wraps up this short Tech Talk series. If you need additional help, head over to alteracentral.com/tech support.